to the Ross Patterson Revolution! Brought to you by GhostBed.com.
Hi-oh, James.
Hi-oh.
Hi-oh.
How are you?
I'm all right.
Hey, now listen, I don't like to hear that. What's going on?
I'm as good as I can be, James. I'm as good as I can be.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
It's one of those things where you move and you just want to skip ahead like 3 months.
Yeah, but that's what
have everything in place. You know what I'm saying?
That's what you always want.
What's that?
That's what you always want.
Who?
You.
What do you mean?
You want things to just be done. You don't want anything to take time or go through it.
No.
You just want it to be done and done.
Yeah. Forever.
Yeah.
With
so it's
everything,
hard.
by the way.
Yeah, it's hard.
Because I'm the only one that I think values time as much as one should. And I know I've said this on the show 1,000 times. Time is the most valuable thing we have in this life. Therefore, when it's wasted or you have to wait on things or whatever, it's time off your life where you're like, shit, you know?
Yeah, there's some things that just like take time though. Do you know what I mean?
But unnecessarily, I feel like, right? I feel a lot of these things, most jobs and most things, right? People don't like what they do. Mm-hmm. And therefore, time to them doesn't really matter because it's their job. And they're like, well, what does that matter if that gets there a couple days early to those people? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't really have any effect on anything else.
Okay.
So therefore, when you're just kind of working through the day, and I went through this with the cable guys came, right, with Dish. Mm-hmm. I was like, man, you guys are really here. You're taking a long time here. And they were like, man, if we just stay at your house all day, we don't have to do the others. And I was like, no shit. Is that how it works? And they were like, yeah, that's how it works. And I'm like, all right, well, fuck me, you know?
Right.
So that's kind of how it is. Like, and I feel like it's like that with every job, really. Mm-hmm. Every single job is just kind of, just we're getting through the day and that's it. We don't really care about your time. Mm-hmm. When it happens to you, you get angry about it.
Yeah. I just think there's a difference between like things taking the time they're going to take and then people just lollygagging. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's how I feel about like moves and all that shit where it's just like, it's just unnecessary in time, you know? Mm-hmm. Time is wasted. Putting things together is shitty in this time of COVID. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, the thing that you were putting together the other night that had 10,000 parts to it. Mm-hmm. Nope. Not one prayer.
Yeah.
I look at that. That is my worst nightmare where I'm like, let's just buy this together. But the problem is you can't buy anything together anymore.
Yeah.
Because
unless you want to pay.
We're not touching anyone. We're not. Oh.
Well, yeah. Unless you want to pay big bucks.
Does it come with sanitizer? Does it come with hand sanitizer? We can't do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does.
Right.
It does come with hand sanitizer.
Right.
But that's how I feel about all of this shit and everything you do, and you get these memos. I don't know if you get them so much as I do, like business wise, of like, hey, here's our new COVID friendly policy for this, and it's like I don't. You can come up and cough all over the car window.
Right.
I really don't care. You know.
Right.
With the menu thing, like going to restaurants, right?
Mm-hmm. We can't give you the paper menu. It's COVID.
Cool. I'm not wearing a mask anyway, sitting at the table. So what are we doing here? You know?
Oh, but the paper menu, what we want you to do is take a picture of this square with your phone, and then the menu will just pop up on your phone. You can have that.
I don't like that, and I'll tell you why. Everybody now at the table is on their phone. The dinner or lunch table is one thing that I'm like, man, all right, cool. Typically, no one's going to be on their phone. Now it's like, no,
bury your head in your phone. Mm-hmm. Do it, COVID. COVID's doing it.
Clean up all your shit.
Right.
And then stay on your phone, where everything is becoming so impersonal to me, where it's just like, all right. I mean, I guess, right?
Yeah.
I think, that it's becoming frustrating, where I just see people buried more and more inside their shit because you're starting to get used to it more and more. I think everybody is out of stuff to do, where it's just like, all right, kids can't go and play with each other in the neighborhood because, things are walled off, and other families don't want you to have, play with their own kids.
Yeah.
So therefore, kids are at home spending more time on screens and shit like that. Me waiting out in a parking lot. I waited out in a parking lot for food right before we left in North Carolina. And they were like, so what we need you to do is call it in. And then when you get there, go to your assigned parking space and then call us. And then you're going to get outside your car and go to the table and go pick up your food or whatever. And it was like, you're still touching my food at the end of the day. Like, I'm seeing you. You're like, what are we doing with all this shit? The time that it took to get a simple, I think it was Jamie. I was getting a stromboli for Jamie. Just the time that took to get a simple Italian thing was a good hour and 38 minutes, where I was like, man, what a waste of time. One stromboli out of my day for a friend was an hour and 38 minutes. And I was like, fuck me,
Right.
But we're trying to change that tonight, kids. We are. We're taking the whole family out to a drive-in movie theater tonight.
We are.
That way, there is no screens.
No.
There is no nothing. Like, hey, man, we're going to watch this movie. There is nothing else going on that you could possibly do because you're locked within the 6 feet of your family, and that's it. Right? Mm-hmm. So, we're going. We're going tonight.
Yeah, we are.
It's your favorite movie.
One of, and it should be everyone's in top 10 at
Tell
least.
them what it is.
Princess Bride.
Yes. We're going to see Princess Bride tonight.
Yeah, I can probably recite the whole thing. I won't do it, but
yeah, you that's one of your all-time faves.
It's one of my all-time faves.
That and Moonstruck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next time Moonstruck is there, I'm so excited. Yeah, so we're doing that. We're going to try and turn it around. But yeah, all that stuff that you said is just like life.
It's not. I think it's life in COVID now.
Yeah.
It's just like, all right, cool, man. Nothing made me happier than to hear you say that our child was sweating his ass off after he got back from jiu-jitsu yesterday and doing normal kid shit again, where I was like, oh, all right, cool, man. I walked into a gym yesterday.
Yeah. They
let me sign up for a membership. They got a whole fucking thing. There was people working out in there. I was like, all right, this feels a little more normal. Gyms are still not open in North Carolina.
Right.
But here I was like, all right, shit, sweet.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah.
You know what's weird about it too is like Austin is got like a liberal mayor and it's, pretty liberal, I guess you'd say. But we're on the outs. We live outside of that. And when I walked in, the homeboy told me, he goes, man, right on the cusp, aren't we? And I was like, what do you mean? And he goes, well, if this gym was in the city, it wouldn't be open. And I was like, fucking A.
Right.
All right.
Right.
But it was good. Like I no time was wasted there, Jabes. And I like that a lot. They got classes going on too. For the ladies. You can hop back into it. Peloton and all that shit. Spin. I was surprised they had that.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm surprised by all this shit. That's like, oh, yeah, these are normal things we used to do. Now it's like a huge revelation and a shock to me.
Right.
Where I'm like, oh, what?
Yeah.
People are doing normal things? Kind of surprising, Mm-hmm. You're not amused with me at all today.
No, I'm amused with you. It's just, it's hard to talk about the COVID, the mask stuff. Like,
I'm not
it's
talking
hard.
about the masks. I'm not talking about the mask stuff. I'm talking about time and being wasted right now because of COVID and the bullshit.
Yeah.
But, people are using that as a crutch now. COVID has become a crutch.
Yes.
So why is that thing going to take 6 weeks? COVID.
Right.
Why can't I just come up and talk to you and grab my food. COVID, you're going to have to call that in.
Yeah.
Go park in your little space.
Why isn't McDonald's serving breakfast all day?
COVID.
Dead
serious.
That one really got me because I was like, but why?
Yeah.
COVID. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Somebody just wrote in, Papa G, too much Ross, more Jables, please.
I did.
More Jables.
Oh, he's listening. He's listening.
So funny.
So let me regale you with a little story about me being pulled over today.
Oh, did you get pulled over?
I got pulled over, and I
On the
just
way down
want to
here?
say yes. I want to say
We drive separately.
We drive separately.
Yeah.
We try to be separate as much as we can.
Yeah.
But to make it fresh, you know what I mean? To make it on the show. Like,
sure.
Even at home, we try and just like not really hang out or talk.
Yeah.
Just so like you guys get.
You'll go to sleep super early and you'll be like, dude, I gotta get. I can't see you before the show.
Right.
I want to my best life for the show.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Not for you.
No.
For the show.
For the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although you were watching Yellowstone, you said it's not that great this season, and I tend to agree. So like you were watching Yellowstone, and I was like, it's just not doing it for me anymore. But so I allowed you to watch that by yourself. Anyways, I love policemen, right?
Yeah.
Love sheriff. Got pulled over by the sheriff. So I'm late to work, going a little bit fast, right?
Yeah.
Just trying to get here. I get pulled over, and so he comes up to the car and he's like, do you know why I pulled you over? And I was like, it's probably a couple things. And he was like, okay, what are the couple things? And I was like, speeding. And he was like, yeah, 75 and a 55. And I was like,
okay.
Oh, dang. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That one, got that one right.
Yeah.
Ding. Maybe expired registration and out of state plates.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. Yep.
Yeah.
You got that one.
Yep.
So let me see your license and insurance. License is from North Carolina too.
Yep.
It's not really that great. They don't love that. Insurance card, can't find it. I mean, I have insurance. It is paid for. Don't really have the newest one in my car.
Yeah.
Over, under. So these are all the things, right? Speeding.
Yep.
Expired registration, out of state plates.
By the way,
driver's license.
I want to tell the audience your expired tags. Because you told
November.
me right before I drove here.
November, I think, of last year,
Yep.
right?
November 2019 expired.
So yeah.
1 full year ago almost.
1 full year ago.
Yeah.
And this is the first time I'm getting pulled over for it, so I'll just leave that there. You know what I mean? So I've like I've gotten away
COVID.
with it.
Yeah.
I've gotten away with it. And COVID, I'm like, I couldn't get my registration. That place wasn't open. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, driver's license from out of state and no insurance card on me. Over, under, how many tickets do you think I got?
0 because you're hot.
Oh my God. Like anybody else
Yeah.
getting pulled, all 5 things.
Yeah. Because you're hot.
He was like,
Yeah.
and honest maybe. And try.
Because you're hot. Let's face it, Jabes. If you were black, you'd be behind bars.
Or even a guy.
Or shot, yeah.
Or even a guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Even
Even
dude,
you.
yeah.
Like, if you had that many things, they'd be like, what? I think with me, and they could probably tell I was a little bit of a mess. So they were like, I even said it maybe when I was looking for the card. I was like, I am such a mess. I'm so sorry. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, talk to my husband. He'll tell you how much of a mess I actually am, you know?
Sure.
So cool guy, nice guy. He's like, I'm going to give you a break on this and this and this and this.
Yeah.
Please keep your speed down. Don't get in an accident. You have 30 days to fix all the rest of it. Good day, ma'am.
Oh, good day to you.
Good
ma'am.
day to you, ma'am. And I was driving away just laughing, being like, holy shit. There was so many violations.
Yeah. Proud of you, Jabes. Proud of you for being hot. Thank your parents for that today when you go home. You know?
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is.
Cool guy, though, you know?
Yeah.
Cool guy.
All right.
Like when I said it could be a couple things, I got a little smirk. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I got a little, oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. At least you're not going to. And do you have any reason why you were speeding? I'm like, what would be like an acceptable answer to you? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm late to work. Obviously, that's not going to help at all, right?
Sure.
He's like, yeah, I guess. Like what? I'm dying. My parents. Like what would I say that would make it be like, okay.
There's a million things you could say, Jabes.
That would make it okay for me to be speeding?
Shark attack.
Okay.
My nephew got attacked by a shark.
Right.
They
in the Gulf, I'm trying to get there.
Yep.
Yeah, something like that.
Ma'am, there's the nearest ocean is about 3.5 hours away. I know. I'm trying to get there for him.
I need to get there like now.
Yeah, I want to see that leg before he gets amped.
Yeah.
You know, before they saw that fucker off, I want to see him one more time, bi-legged. You know, is that
maybe it was the Patterson name. I don't know.
If it was Drinkin Bros, I'd say like I feel like every cop listens to Drinkin Bros and therefore I'm fine. You know, I feel real good about that stitch, real positive about it.
Yeah.
But ours is hit and miss. You're just hot. That's the thing.
No, there's no way. I mean,
yeah.
I think I was just like, I honestly think I was just annoying him at a certain point because I couldn't find it, my insurance. And he's like, do you have the app? Like you can pull it up on your phone. And I was like, no, I don't have it. And then I was like pulling my phone, like trying to like go to the thing. And I think eventually he was just like, okay, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
And I'm going to let you just fucking handle your life because you're an absolute fucking mess.
Yeah.
So I think I just kind of wore him down, like just being like, and like not being able to find anything.
What did you wear him down with, Japes?
Being annoying, like being an annoying
But what were you
mess.
wasting of his that you think that he had?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't wasting his time. He pulled me over.
No, I understand that. But when you wear somebody down, it's time. And he was probably like, I'm getting the fuck out of this mess.
Yeah.
I'm all done with this.
He was like blonde, white chick looking for an insurance card in like a stack like this.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm going to be here all day.
Yep.
I think I'm going to go.
Gonna hop her on down the bunny trail and get out of here.
To be honest, too, I did hear a little call coming through on his thingy. Whatever.
Murder? Rape? What was it?
It just sounded a little bit more urgent than the white girl trying to download an app in front of the cat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know my... what's my Apple ID? I was like really, really slowing it down, you know?
Sure.
Great guy, though.
Yeah, great guy.
Love him. Cannot say enough
White
good
privilege.
things
Jesse.
about the
White
sheriff in Hayes County. Great. They're great. Although they were out for blood today. So I don't know if it's some kind of quota day. Doesn't feel like the end of the month, but there were literally cops all over each side, like pulling people over, and they were everywhere.
Yeah.
So I couldn't speed anywhere, which was really annoying.
You know, the opposite is happening in New York right now.
Less cops?
They're not doing shit. Apparently, there is some law that is up, some chokehold law that they're trying to pass against them that they actually need.
Oh, so they're
like, we're good, man. We're not going to do anything. Tickets are down 80%. And they're like, nah, we're not writing those anymore. Crime is up, and they're like, nah, we're good.
Right.
There was a fight yesterday that went viral over like these 14-year-olds that got in a fight and they were kicking the shit out of this person, and they were like, we're all good, man. When you guys are done, we'll go ahead and wrap it on up and call the ambulance for whoever that is. But
dang,
but we're good to go.
Look, would I be cool with like highway patrol being a little bit less? Sure. Do you know what I mean?
You know what I'm waiting for is just the Tesla takeover where it's like, all right, everything's electric, everything's driving.
They come up to my door and I'm just like sleeping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's it. That's what I'm waiting for, and like for more reasons than one. Traffic and all this other shit, and like having been in one of those fucking things, it recognizes what the speed limits are. It does it for you. I don't have to do shit. Therefore, pulling me over in a Tesla, it's like, hey man, the car did it.
Here's the only thing. So I'm going to be going the speed limit everywhere in the Tesla?
No, you have the option to go faster if you want to take it off, you know, or say, hey, I want to go like 5 miles over or whatever it is. But
well, apparently, like I like a cool 20. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, and that is really my sweet spot. Do you know what I mean? And that's everywhere. residential.
To be fair, though, I thought that was a 75 where you were at.
It felt like it.
Yeah.
I know for a fact you were going 75 to get here. Easy, if not more.
Yeah.
And it felt like everyone else was too. It's just the people in front of me saw the cop before I did. So they all slowed down. I slowed down behind them.
And I blare music too at like top level.
Mm-hmm.
Today's was we talk about this at least twice a week. Whenever I get in the car, Apple iTunes just takes over. It was the Doggy Style album from Snoop Dogg.
Okay.
But the full album. So it wasn't just like one song, it was the full album. And I was like, I definitely don't have that downloaded on Apple Music. And I was like, oh shit. All right. I forgot how many goddamn sketches there used to be going into songs. We used to skip through like the first minute of bullshit to get to the songs.
Oh,
you're like, dude, why did all you motherfuckers think you were sketch comedians? But
they would always do like a voicemail, but like the real ones that you would have back in the day. Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, no, I don't think I can make that.
Uh-huh.
Like
that bullshit.
Like the Snoop Dogg one opened up with him in a bathtub talking to this girl about getting his back washed and shit like that. And you're like, I remember it once it came on and I was like, oh God, I can't believe we put up with this bullshit without skipping through it.
Yeah.
But the music holds up. Doggy Style is still one of the greatest albums of all time. So I agree. I thought I'd throw some love out to Snoop Dogg where I was like, man, it's still fucking phenomenal. All the way through that entire album, all the way through. Speaking of sketch comedians, there's a video that's going viral today about the real life Clayton Bigsby. You and I watched this video. Holy shit. Is that crazy or what?
It just doesn't seem real.
It is. It is real. Okay. It was a black guy who was adopted by an all-white family. And all he knows is the Confederate flag and that his grandfather, again, white, was a Confederate soldier. And, you know, his relatives fought or not his grandfather, maybe his great-grandfather?
Yeah. Fought in what? Civil War?
Nah, that's too long ago.
Okay.
Probably great or something like that.
Sure.
Whatever. All he said was all of his relatives fought in the Civil War for the Confederates, and he was adopted, and he didn't understand why they were trying to tear down these statues. He's waving a Confederate flag and wearing a Confederate flag hat.
And sounds like
in the video, sounds identical to Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
And it is a thick Southern accent that you're like, whoa. I knew it was possible. I just hadn't seen it.
Sure.
You know? And I knew when I saw that sketch by Chappelle, I was like, I guarantee you somebody like this exists. We just haven't seen them until today. It took 15 years, but we finally found the real life Clayton Bigsby. And I kind of felt bad watching the video.
Why?
If that's all you grow up knowing, and you were like, clearly the guy was loved. He talks about the love of his dad and his grandparents. It's like, shit. It's hard to rip on this guy. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But he is, I mean, he literally sounds like he's saying what they have always told him, right? So is he brainwashed?
I don't know. Like, all of this shit depends on what environment you grew up in, right? Even in the sticks in like Georgia, like these deep country fucking woods, and it appears to be Georgia or Alabama in one of these things. By the way, if you're watching on YouTube, hammer the like button so we can beat the algorithm. It appears to me that it's got to be one of those states, and that's if you were raised like that in a family that loves you, what's the harm in it? And I guess
the harm in it.
Yeah, what's the harm in him being, you know?
There's no harm. It's just.
But this poor motherfucker's getting ridiculed on the internet, like.
Yeah, I mean, Dozelle could make the same fucking argument, can't she?
No, because she's not black at all.
Yeah, but she was raised with all black people in her family.
Right. She went off the rails when she said she was black. So
sure, but I'm just saying
that's kind of
her environment growing up was exactly that. Her sisters, adopted sisters and stuff, were all black. Her family adopted
Sure.
And she grew up with all black family.
Yeah.
So is that any different?
You know,
because that's how they were doing her hair. That's how she talks. That's who she hung out with.
Right. But I think her saying "I am black" was the one that really got her fucking
eliminated. Yeah. And she did take it a little bit far. This person isn't saying that he's white, but he's definitely doing all the things that, right?
Hey, man. It's a tough one, but
nature versus
I knew it would happen.
Nurture, right?
I knew it would happen one day. Same as I knew fucking Aaron Rodgers was gay. You know? I knew that would happen one day. Somebody was going to come out and just say, hey,
who said that?
Olivia Munn did. And yeah.
He did?
Got a lot of messages of Rostradamus was right again. And
she did?
Yes. So she said, I have, and she did a podcast. Forget whose podcast. But she did a podcast and was just like, yeah, man, I'm pretty positive one of my ex-boyfriends is gay. And she went scorched earth on it. I mean, went full out.
What happened?
She just said, look,
she man. She has kept quiet for a long time.
She was definitely not quiet yesterday. And she was just like, look, there's times when I wish I didn't moan and, you know, pretend because he was terrible in bed and all this other shit. And I was just like, all right. It was very pointed. I'm trying to think of who else she dated before that. I know one of her longer term boyfriends in real life, and that guy's not gay. Aaron Rodgers has been my only suspicion that was a gay man forever. Even with the Danica Patrick shit, I was like, nah. And now they're not together anymore.
Right. The Danica to me was getting a little bit closer to his true intentions
of
wanting to be with fellas.
She's got a tad of a mannishness. You know what's weird? If you look at Olivia Munn and her side by side, it's almost like the evolution of man. Like you have this woman, and then like that's the next step where you're just like, oh, all right, cool. You're going from hot ass Olivia Munn to fucking Danica Patrick, who's still kind of attractive but kind of dudeish. Where you're like,
shall we go through her timeline?
Who's
just Olivia Munn, just to see if maybe there's someone else that she's
talking about. Do you have her ex-boyfriends?
So Brian Greenberg.
Brian Greenberg's the one that I know.
Okay, 2007 and 2009.
So when I worked with her in 2007, maybe 2008. They were together, and they were together for a very long time. Our mutual friend Joey Kern, I was friends with Brian, and we did his Funny or Die wrote this piece for us to do. It was called Three McConaughey's and a Baby. So we were all it was me, Joey, Taron Killam from Saturday Night Live, and then Olivia Munn were in that video. And normal, cool, like there is, I totally believe her when she was talking about this yesterday. So she's not one of those people who's just out for a story.
Right.
So I want to preface that of like, definitely not. So I think what she said was true yesterday.
Okay.
Brian is checked off my list, though. I don't think it's him.
No. 2009 to 2010, she dated Chris Pine. Now,
I'm going to say no on Chris Pine.
Maybe. That's a maybe.
No, I'm going to say no on Chris Pine.
Joel Kinnaman. Now, do you know who this is?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
He was in one of our favorite shows ever. And
I don't see him being.
No, but I don't. Like, I could see him trying to do it one night just to do it, but you know,
he's European, so you never know.
Yeah, you never know.
And then Aaron Rodgers. So,
him I can definitely see.
She also dated Philadelphia Fusion president Tucker Roberts.
I don't know who that is. I don't even know what the Philadelphia Fusion is.
He looks a little bit.
He looks a little bit gay? Mm-hmm. Did she date him after Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
Okay.
But they broke up in 2019. So it's been a year from them.
Maybe. Look, I've always thought that Aaron Rodgers was gay. There's always been that speculation that Aaron Rodgers is gay. There's no reason for him not to have been married, really.
Right.
At this point.
Yeah.
And he also doesn't talk to his family for some reason.
Oh, yeah. That's huge.
It's a huge thing. I don't know why. He has a brother who was a football player as well, who is on The Bachelor.
Yeah.
And he doesn't talk to his parents. When you're worth $300 million and you go to Cal, because he went to Cal.
Yeah.
Right? Normal family, normal upbringing.
What's up?
I don't know.
What's up?
I don't know.
Yeah. Interesting. So I guess out of this list,
I'm going Aaron Rodgers.
I guess I would go Aaron Rodgers or Chris Pine. You know, that may be a bombshell that comes out as well.
I don't know about Chris Pine.
Yeah, I guess he
weird,
goes.
though? I also don't know who he's dated.
I don't know who he's dated either. I mean, I could look it up, but
yeah,
he does kind of leave the house in sweats. You know what I mean?
Well,
and like sloppy, like a straight man.
So Bert just worked with him for 4 or 5 months. I did not hear that out of Bert Koontz.
That what?
Chris Pine was gay.
Yeah.
I mean, they spent a long time together, so I would have heard that for sure. I'm still going to lean towards Aaron Rodgers on this one.
Yeah, I would say.
Aaron.
I would say for sure.
Yeah. There's just always been a little something like, there's a look in his eye, like a little twinkle in his eye that's like, are you gay? And it's fine, but you know.
It'd be sweet if you just came out with
it, right?
No, I think Chris Pine's a bit of a ladies' man. Like the people that he dated, you're like, yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like you're not dating these people because you're dating them because they're all hot and you want to have sex with them. Do you know what I mean? Not all of them are like going to bring you to any kind of status.
Sure.
Right?
Sure, yeah.
Zoe Kravitz.
Who dated her?
Chris Pine.
All right. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I could see that.
Both in the biz and all that other shit.
Sure.
Speaking of her show got canceled, by the way.
Yes.
High Fidelity. And
because it wasn't High Fidelity.
No. And people on Barstool, I was listening to Barstool Sports, and they did an emergency episode on Saturday. And they were pissed about that it got canceled. They were like, it's going to get picked up by somewhere else. No, it's not. The ratings were terrible on it.
Well, her name's Rob.
Yep.
Which is the name, Cusack's name.
Yeah.
In the show. And we're supposed to believe that she dates like a man. And I just don't buy it.
No. And when you remake one of the greatest films of all time into a TV show, it is not going to work. I'm sorry. But you'll never, that movie was so great.
Yeah.
You'll never get those characters of Cusack, Jack Black.
That dynamic. I mean.
Fuck. Who's the weird one? Last name is White. Whatever, man.
Yeah.
That cast was the best, dude.
Yeah.
And, we're going to make it fucking, we're going to get woke with it and get a black actress to play the dude and all this other shit. No, it's not going anywhere.
No,
and the ratings weren't good, and that's it for it. I'm not sure the love for that show. Like, go watch the original movie I just saw maybe 2 or 3 months ago. It still holds up.
It's amazing.
Still holds up.
Yeah. And Nick Hornby, like the guy that wrote the book.
Yeah.
That worked closely with John Cusack and stuff. It's just a whole thing. And it's actually based on Nick Hornby's life. So it's a very masculine show, a very a masculine movie and a masculine book, right? About the male perspective. And he does find some kind of enlightenment with it, like going through the relationships and going through them and everything.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you just can't do it the other way around with a hot, hard to look at, hot girl, right?
Yeah.
It's hard for me to believe that she has anywhere close to the struggles that an older, middle-aged John Cusack with a failing life has. It's not the same thing.
No.
And anyone who liked it never saw the movie. I guarantee that.
Yeah.
Anyone who saw it is younger and was like, oh, what's this?
I heard that show on Barstool and was like, in what fucking world, dude? Like, What dream world do you live in?
No.
And they were like, oh, it'll probably get picked up. Like Disney owns Hulu and all this. It was on Hulu. And I was
no,
like,
dude, it's
not
done.
going on Disney Plus. It's not going anywhere, bro.
It's done.
It's done.
It's done.
We're all done with that. I want to talk about this controversy that's going on too with the USPS right now. This story's been popping up the last couple days that Trump wants to defund fucking the United States Post Office. It is not true. They're asking for more funding to get these ballots out through the mail. The ballot thing in the mail is a goddamn disaster.
Right.
There's been some primaries that have happened over the last couple months. One of the counties doesn't even have totals yet. 2 months ago, the primaries was. So they're like, no, we're going to go ahead and hold off funding on that because that would be the worst shit show of all time. If you go into what this election is going to be and how on edge people are already, couple that with the fact of, hey, mail in all your votes. And you know when we'll get them counted and sorted out? 2030.
Yeah.
I mean, if you thought 2000 was bad, and again, I was a baby when that happened. Maybe 3 years old, 4 years old tops. I'm not sure.
Sure.
When that was, to be honest. Tiny baby. Didn't know the world.
Sure.
Didn't know where I was.
Uh-huh.
And with the hanging Chad shit in Florida, that took 31 days. 31 days to have an answer for who the president of the United States was. And it was a shit show. I mean, it was yelling back and forth, all that shit for 31 days. That was one state. Just one. Now imagine doing that to all 50. And you've seen how well the checks work with the COVID checks that went out. Hey, we're just going to send those to your house in hard form, hard check here. Paper. Just going to send you a paper check in the mail. $1.7 billion didn't get to where it needed to go because you didn't know where the fuck people were.
Right.
Imagine trying to get 330 million ballots out in the mail to people and say, hey, man, not only do I want you to fill this out and be honest about it and scan your barcode, but then I'd like for you to send it back.
Sure.
There's a reason why on tax day on April 15th that people can file extensions and file their taxes all the way through September. And the reason is because they can't get it in the fucking mail fast enough. You think they're going to be able to get a vote in the mail fast enough? Not a prayer, my man. So if you're hearing this story of like, does he want to defund the United States Post Office? No, he does not. He just does not want mail-in voting, nor do I. I want this thing fucking over with November 3rd. Whatever that answer is, I want to wake up on the 4th, go to work, live my life, and that's it. I do not want to think about this for the next 3 or 4 months afterwards. Could you imagine? And the lawsuits that would be filed. Good fucking luck with all of that.
Yeah.
Shit. You've seen how hard it is to just renew your license plate within a year. You know what I'm saying? Imagine voting for...
It's not that hard. It's just hard for me. Not hard. I mean, I definitely could have worked it out for sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. But imagine voting for president and being like, hey, did you turn those votes in?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well,
hon, I did. Nope,
yeah,
no, you didn't.
Yeah.
Find those between the seats of the car or underneath the visor.
You coming for me right now?
No, not you. I'm talking about women in general.
Oh boy.
Here's why.
Oh boy. Here we go, ladies. Pipe up.
I'm actually standing up for you guys. As moms, with all the crazy shit you have to do between school, practices, projects, all that other shit. And I'm at work, you know? You work as well. Imagine putting that on top of your plate of like, hey, did you mail in the votes? Because we're voting this year and that's a new thing.
I don't know. There's people that can do it. There's women that can do it. We would never be friends, but
yeah,
they can do it.
There's already not enough time in the day for moms. Now imagine like, hey man, can you just fill out that ballot and just mail that in? Scan that barcode for me, please. And make sure that gets down to wherever the fuck that goes.
Right.
No, dude.
Right.
Barely pay the HOAs on time, for Christ's sakes. You know?
Okay, now you are coming for me. Now you are coming.
No, dude, the last one was on me. Dude, I totally spaced on it. That check was sitting underneath the garage door remote above the visor.
Oh, yeah.
And I just didn't.
Sure.
I finally cashed yesterday, and I was like, shit, man. I wrote that like 2 months ago. That's right. I didn't turn it in until a week ago.
Right.
And now that cashed, and I feel like an asshole. Man, I feel like an asshole. Yeah. So yeah, mailing in a vote, not a prayer, bro. Not a prayer. I want this shit open November 3rd. You can go. Look, you're standing in line to go into a fucking Whole Foods. If voting for the president of the United States matters that much to you, congratulations. You'll wait in line just like the rest of everybody else, right?
Right.
If that fucking kombucha means as much to you as the president of the United States, you'll wait. You'll socially distance the 6 feet or whatever the fuck it is, and you'll move on with your life. Yeah. That's where I stand on all of this. And like this, I'm so sick of hearing about it the last 24 hours of like, oh, he wants to shut down everything. No, he's just trying to save you. Just go out and vote, and that's it. And then you're all done with that. Right?
Yeah.
Wrap yourself up in your hazmat suits, because those people are doing that anyways.
Right.
Whoever the hazmat people are living that life anyways. So it's like, great. Throw your fucking hazmat suit on and go out and vote. You're going to wear it on an airplane.
Right.
I saw 4 people wearing a fucking hazmat suit on the way out here on the airplane. Full head-to-toe hazmat suit. I'm talking ET, touch you with the fucking arms through the thing, you know? Like, yeah. Dead serious. And I was like, great, if you're doing that, you have no problem going out and voting then. Shit.
No, just put it on.
Walking around like fucking Doc Brown, Back to the Future, you know?
Yeah.
Right before the Iranians try to kill him for stealing the plutonium.
Right.
Put it on. Put the fucking suit on. Go out and stand. You're fine, dude.
Sure.
Everything is going to be fine.
Yeah. If it can protect you against plutonium.
Yeah.
Definitely, you'll be fine.
You'll be fine,
COVID,
dude.
Yeah.
Nothing we can do about that. Nothing we can do about that. I did see Biden and Kamala. I'm pronouncing that right now, finally. Yeah. I was wrong yesterday.
I think we both were, right?
I've been calling her Kamala forever.
Yeah,
If it wasn't for that Tucker Carlson thing, I'd had no idea. Somebody corrected him live on air, and they were like, hey, man, that's like the 10th time you've said Kamala. And I was like, oh. He's like, what is it? They're like, it's Kamala. And I'm like, huh? Gosh. Feels like I'm not saying that right.
Right. That feels the wrong way.
Yeah. Sure enough, that's the right way.
Okay.
So they had a joint presser yesterday, the two of them. Man.
Gosh.
It is hard not to go just scorched earth on everything that's going on right now because I just hate it. But even then, you pick your vice president. It's a groundbreaking moment. You're picking the first female African-American vice presidents, potentially of the United States. It's a big deal. Where did you do it? In a high school gym with 16 people there, 16 reporters because of social distancing that were spread out on X's all over this gym floor in a high school.
Got it.
And that's where the announcement was made. Both of them came in wearing masks, you know, taking it off and then giving speeches. And I wonder how many people actually saw it or paid attention or whatever. Look, I host a bunch of fucking shows, so I want to be on top of this stuff. So I went out of my way to watch it, but I was like, where was this being televised? And where was this earlier? And who watched it? You know? TMZ is now starting to cover the election, which should frighten the shit out of you, by the way.
Yeah, geez.
Yeah. We talked about this yesterday with the gambling on mybookie.com. Promo code Drinkin Bros doubles your deposits. Of what this is, of this Super Bowl of this. There is over like 90 prop bets for the president now. You can actually go in and pick your own state on MyBookie. And all of the odds are totally different per state, Republican versus Democrat. And what's going to happen? I'm going to be honest. Those are some of the most exciting bets around where I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, Florida was an underdog state. I went through the entire list last night. Florida was an underdog state. I think the Republicans are going to win Florida.
Right.
Therefore, I went all in on it. I was like, fuck it, I'll bet on that. Why not? Because if you think about it, with 50 states, and then the president itself and who's going to win in the Electoral College. I mean, they broke it down to every possible factor you could have. I'm going to bet on all of those. Imagine that parlay, a 60-state parlay, dude. Daddy's going to see how good he really is. I called the last election, and I'm going to see how good I really am. I'm going to bet on every single state, and I will post it in, we'll do it in Drinkin Bros Sports like we always do. It's a private group on Facebook. Just sign up, and the only rule is just don't be a cunt. That's it. Mm-hmm. It literally says it on the thing. I'm going to bet on every single state, and we'll see what happens at the end of it. But I'm excited about it. When I went through it last night, I was like, oh my God. To put it in perspective, I believe that there was 150 bets for the Super Bowl, prop bets. I think I counted 95 on my bookie for the election.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So if you're at home and you're like, hey, man, how do I bet on my state? We know the answer now, and Vegas is taking all these bets as well. But the reason I bring that up is because if you're trying to workshop this, like it's a Sunday night football game or a Monday night football game, you need to watch these speeches to see how they did.
Yeah.
And personally, here's my honest, genuine opinion on how I thought it went yesterday with Biden and Kamala Harris for the first time. Biden was Adderalled up and he got through it. He didn't stumble.
Okay.
Good on him. It was very brief. He's got about a 15-minute window now, and you got to hope to get there before Kevin McAllister catches you.
Sure.
Or else you're going to get a paint can to the head. And then they trot out Kamala Harris, right?
Yeah.
That's going on inside Biden's mind.
Okay.
I just picture Joe Biden's mind to be like Home Alone, where it's just like he's already reverted back to an 8-year-old who got left home alone, and now he's fighting the two robbers inside of his mind who are jangling his thoughts around.
Okay.
Well, look, we've all been there, Joe. Chances are I'll probably have dementia too, for real. But I'm just not going to run for president.
Right.
I'm 78 years old. Now with Kamala, she gave a speech that was like, God, it's just her looks, the way she looks around the room and everything else. It is just so condescending.
Yeah. And she seemed very nervous, obviously. Do you know what I mean?
I didn't think she was that nervous. No. It's just, it seemed like she was walking up there as the president giving a speech versus I'm the vice president. Mm-hmm. And the way she talks about things and people is so condescending, and it's in a tone that is not great, where you're just like, man, she's just super unlikable. Where you could have gone with a million other options in that would have been like, hey, man, if you're going to trot this person out there to give speeches over and over again, make it someone likable that you can kind of get behind or feel like you know a little bit. And again, I don't agree with a lot of the policies on the left, but there was some people like Tulsi Gabbard. I was like, she's out there. Like, all right, if it went that way, it goes that way, and I'd be fine with Tulsi Gabbard.
Booker would have been...
Cory Booker, man. Look.
That would have been the choice to me as far as if you're going to try and win.
Yeah. Well.
And the other thing is she's walking up like the president because that's essentially what you're voting on right now if you are a Democrat, right? So now, they all know it. So now they are voting. You are voting for the vice president. So whoever that was is who is actually going to be president in maybe 2 years, right? So that's very important. And her walking up as if she's president is knowing the gravity of it. And everyone that is really educated with, the politics on that side, and if they are voting that way, they know 100% that the vice president is actually going to be the president. Yeah, and
it's strange to see. But look, I thought as like a first go rounds, like it wasn't bad. I don't know. I don't know how that's going to play out. She's just not a likable, I thought maybe she would have taken the edge off a little bit. Because you learn things, right? And that was one of the things that they said last night of, her running for president helped her learn what to do in this moment and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, not really. The speeches are the same. Just kind of get that snarky fucking attitude. And it's like, I don't know how well that's going to play. Look, Trump's not a great fucking speaker, or he's entertaining as shit.
Right.
So when he goes out there, you get it.
Well, he's proof that you don't actually have to be likable, right? that your policies and what you are actually
yes.
trying to change should be the most important thing, because he is not likable. And a lot of people don't like him. Even people that voted for him don't like him, because that's not the most important thing.
No, it's
with a woman,
policies. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
With a woman, you have to be perfect in every single way.
Yeah.
You have to be tough enough to run the country. You have to be nice enough for people to like you.
Right.
You have to be all these things, whereas a man doesn't. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, she's a little bitchy. She's a little bitchy? Who's the fucking president right now?
Sure.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
Just make sure that what they are going to fight for is something that aligns with what you are going to fight for, right?
Right.
That's all.
Yeah.
Rusty Barnett gave me some money, said get some coffee. Jables, thank you very much.
Really?
Craig said Amy wasn't mad about yesterday.
Good.
And I'm still invited.
Good. You're still
But
invited.
you are actually uninvited.
Okay.
So
understandable.
sorry about that.
Understandable.
But Craig knew from the second that he asked you, and you literally cut him off mid-sentence and said, not a fucking prayer.
Yeah.
I think he knew at that point you weren't going to go
Not
to a wedding, not a wedding guy, not a friend guy. You know what I mean? Like not a supportive
It's just too much time,
person.
You know?
Now,
Yeah.
Moose Cholak weirdly kind of looks like he's coming for me a little bit, but everyone's...
What did he say? What did
Well, he
Moose
said
say?
Jabes, R.I.P. Why are you telling Jabes R.I.P.? Like everyone's kind of jumping on him.
Who knows?
I don't know, but I do love...
The YouTube. We like going live on YouTube every day. And by the way, Giorgio is working on a system where we can go like across all platforms. And when we do move into the studio, we're going to give you some more options. One of the things that we saw when we moved into the new house, we got a new smart TV. Because those things are $8 now.
Yeah.
Televisions is like
Yeah,
$8 now for some reason. And Spotify had a new app on there, and I was like, and it said for podcasts and music, and they're really leaning on the podcast. So that video, they're getting ready for Rogan and the video app on that. And then Facebook has a watch app now as well, where it's like, hey man, go ahead and watch this shit. So, we're gonna try to go out to some different platforms. Twitch as well. Twitch, yeah. We might try Twitch. See how it goes, and we'll try to get out to you. In the meantime, we got some sponsors to pay for the show to be on the air. First and foremost, ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros, James. Drinkin Bros is the backslash on that. 30% off everything in the entire store if you're a member of the military, a first responder, a teacher, or a government worker. You get 30% off everything in the entire store. If you're a regular dumb civilian like myself, you get 25% off. And if you get a mattress, you get 2 free pillows. As always, they got a 36-month pay-as-you-go program, no interest at ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros. So you can really motherfucking do it during these times. So go to ghostbed.com/Drinkin Bros today. Get a mattress. And with the fucking deal, dude, it's like $30 a month. So do that. Next up, we got StrikeForceEnergy.com.
Boom, 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 boom. Shablanker.
Strike Force Energy. Best in the biz. Yesterday, I went off on a tirade.
What?
6-hour energy.
6 hour. Oh, yeah. We're saying it here. Have you heard of 10-minute abs? Well, this is 6-minute abs.
Lasts longer than 5-hour energy. Lasts 6 hours. And it's a tasty, tiny little tin pouch. You rip it open and squeeze it into any liquid available. I got it in here, man. I threw a little bit in here with my liquid IV today.
Ooh, nice.
To get the juices pumping.
Get hydrated.
10-pack, 40-pack, 750 milliliter bottle. No carbs, no sugars, no gluten. If you're worried about your binary shit, you know, right?
Have you figured
Are you
out
non-binary?
Have you figured out if you're binary or non-binary
I think
yet?
I'm
Non?
I think I'm non-binary. What does that mean?
You heard it here, folks.
Yep, non-binary.
He's non-binary.
What does that mean?
Not one of the two normal genders.
Oh, I'm not
That
one
you're
of
a
the two normal
something
genders.
in between. Yeah, you're
I
like
transcend. Yeah, that makes sense too.
You're very like
yeah, my sexuality transcends to everyone.
Yeah.
I think fucking horses want to bang me. Mm-hmm. Like I saw cop on a horse earlier, and
they both wanted to bang you, huh?
Right, but before the cop looked, the horse looked first.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm non-binary. So go to strikeforceenergy.com today, where you can be non-binary and get some energy drinks inside your system. Be whatever you want in this life.
I like to really punch on that when you say non-binary.
Promo code Revolution, 20% off on for non-binaries and binaries too, and for males, females, all of the like, James. Mm-hmm. All of the likes.
Yep, all of the non-binaries, just like you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just like me. Mm-hmm. What does that mean again?
Yep.
Not one of the two genders.
Not one of the two genders. Yeah, dude. I'm fucking genderless. That's what I am now, dude.
D'Anthony,
I transcend.
D'Anthony, Richard wants to know if he can sleep on your couch for the election show. Should I just tell him no?
Is Richard Danoff coming?
Yeah.
Yeah. Big Dick Danoff is going to come down for the election show. For sure.
Oh,
Dan's got this
Giorgio said
amazing
yes.
Fucking condo downtown.
Let's not invite a bunch of people over to my fucking place.
No, Dan just popped in.
Could,
I think
yeah.
it's fine.
I could go ahead and just put the address in here.
Yep. Dan says he can
on the
sleep
boards.
16 comfortably, but more than likely 23.
And he wants all dudes. Dudes only, he said.
Dudes only.
He wants a boy party.
Yeah, boy party, and the party's just begun. Boy party, it's gonna have some fun. Tummy sticks.
There's a word for what we're gonna have, and that word is boys.
Fun. Yep, boys and boy parties. That's what we always do.
We're always on the same page.
We're always on the same page. That was recording quality, what we just gave you. So if you're looking for that duet, that'll be out around Christmas time. I'm also remaking Mariah Carey's Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
Sure.
I'm going to do that as well. Go to strikeforceenergy.com, promo code Revolution, 20% off. Last but not least, we got manscaped.com.
Ooh.
Shaving up pubes, trimming up balls, shaving down your fucking taint. What?
Yeah.
James? Shave up that taint.
Or your
vagina.
Vagina.
Yeah, shave that vagina up. Do whatever you want with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know who loves it, Giorgio? Non-binaries.
Wet or dry, too.
Wet or dry, non-binary people.
You can use it in the shower as well, yeah.
Oh, you mean you can get I thought you meant the non-binary people could be wet or dry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you really use it in the shower?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you.
I didn't know that. It's waterproof, huh?
Yeah.
Motherfucker. I might take it on a deep sea fishing trip.
Yeah.
It's got LED light too.
It's got an LED light?
All right, well, now I need to check, but
Yeah, we'll do it. I don't know if that's true. Fact check that at home. Go to manscaped.com, promo code REVOLUTION for 20% off. Get a kit.
Let's see.
It's one thing that you need. If that's true, I'm going to go deep sea fishing with it this weekend.
Right.
And just hop in the water about 60 miles off the coast and try to shave my dick underwater.
Tangle-free testicles.
What do you think?
Slip. Waterproof design.
Waterproof design. Does that mean you can jump in a pool and shave your pubes
Are you
off?
a dude who likes to get rid of his hair when he's standing bare in front of the mirror? Or would you rather trim your short and curlies while you're in the shower? With the Lawnmower 2.0, you can do either.
Yeah,
so the 3 must even be better. So
the 3, you can actually use it in snow.
Yeah.
So you can go out in a blizzard and shave off all your pubes. Hurricane.
And high altitudes.
It is hurricane proof also, manscaped.com.
High altitudes.
That
it will
razor,
still work. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a guy who was hiking Kilimanjaro, got to the top, and was just shaved off all of his pubes in celebration.
Who's the free solo guy?
The free solo guy.
So he just
the guy
did.
That climbs,
yeah. So he
climbed up something and then he hung off and shaved his whole pubes with one hand.
And he just had those big
the other
fingers.
Hands. Yeah.
Sounds like Free Cash Carry.
Yeah, it's not.
No, it's free solo.
Free solo. If you haven't seen that doc, by the way,
take a look at the.
Take some mushrooms and really freak yourself out.
No, I smoked. I smoked a lot of weed, and
you want to see a guy that couldn't have hated his girlfriend or cared about his girlfriend less? That was it.
Well, she did really ruin everything because he did start to care about her.
Did he?
Yeah.
Because he just goes.
That was the whole thing in the documentary, is that he was starting to like hurt himself. He was falling. He was like not focused because he had this fucking girlfriend. Which, if you want to focus on anything and do well in this life,
You can't have a woman anywhere near you.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So
The best
that was
is
his
when
downfall.
he was picking out like a condo in Vegas or something, like a townhouse.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't care about any of this. I'd rather go sleep in my van.
Yeah.
Behind every great man is a woman.
Yeah, it's truth, man.
That's what?
A woman that he's ignoring.
We can't hear D'Anthony on
Behind
right
every
now. No.
Feeding you lines.
behind every great man is a woman he's ignoring, and that's absolutely true.
It is, yeah. It is. You have to.
You have to.
If you're gonna do important shit in this life, you've got to ignore the woman behind you and do the things that you were meant to do. You know,
Yeah.
live out your destiny. Yes.
Nothing.
Did Superman have a wife?
Nothing
No.
but problems.
Bruce Wayne? No wife. Spider-Man? No.
Can you imagine Superman's ejaculations?
Yes, dude. There's no Giorgio. Can you name one fucking superhero that's got a wife?
I mean, there was Lois Lane. Superman kind of was.
Yeah, he wanted to bang Lois Lane, but then he realized I'm too important. No, it's not a cuck situation.
Well, he had X-ray vision.
Yep.
He always watched her. He was outside the window. You know.
Maybe. I'm not ready to call Superman a cuck. I think it's a little too harsh for today. It's Thursday, for Christ's sakes. I'm not calling Superman a cuck on a Thursday. But I think with the Lois Lane thing, it was more of like, God damn it, I want to fuck her, but it's going to ruin my life, and I've got to fucking save the world and all this shit. And he's just like, it's not worth it at the end. You know?
Rihanna, did you change your name to Riri?
Princess Riri.
Anyways,
the real
Richard
life
is sleeping
Rihanna
in
did.
D'Anthony's bed that night. Okay. Riri.
Rusty Barnett wanted me to ask Dan if Disgusting Justin is still alive and to check up on us. I can answer that. Yes. Dude, we've talked to him. He was supposed to come on the show like twice. Justin can't stay out of his own way in real life with poor decisions. Yeah, he's fostering like 80 dogs right now, and it's the dumbest shit on the planet.
Why did
but
what?
He'll be back. He'll be
exactly.
back. He will be back on the show on Drinkin Bros. Disgusting Justin.
He out-exaggerated you, Dan.
Jabes. That's not an exaggeration. There's like 80 over there. He's like Richie Valens' brother in that movie La Bamba, where it's just like,
Richie.
yeah, Richie. It's like, dude, no, Bobo. He's Bobo, dude. We're not going to send the artwork into a comic book and think that's going to change your life. We're not going to do it. Disgusting Justin. We have a crime corner today.
We do.
Crime corner.
All right, let's see.
Crime corner.
See. Now, this is a little bit of a journey that we're going to go on together.
Okay.
So why a bank robber thought covering himself in lemon juice would help him get away with the murder.
Right? Did he murder somebody? Do we know that he murdered
Not
somebody?
the murder, the robbery.
The robbery, okay.
Yeah. So it was in 95, but it's going to go to another thing. So a middle-aged man robbed 2 Pittsburgh banks in broad daylight. He didn't wear a mask, any sort of disguise whatsoever. He even smiled at surveillance cameras, like was full on just like, what up?
Sure.
Robbing the bank,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Later that night, police arrested a surprised MacArthur Wheeler when they showed him the surveillance tapes, and Wheeler stared in disbelief. But I wore the juice, he mumbled.
Okay.
He wore the juice.
Yeah, he wore the lemon juice.
He wore the lemon juice, and apparently Wheeler thought that rubbing lemon juice on his skin would render him invisible to videotape cameras. After all, lemon juice is used as invisible ink. So as long as he didn't come near a heat source,
Okay.
he should have been completely invisible in his mind, right?
Got it.
Police concluded that Wheeler was not crazy, not on drugs.
Really?
Just incredibly mistaken.
Huh.
Yes. So this actually found its way to a psychologist, David Dunning, at Cornell University, who enlisted his graduate student, Justin Kruger, to see what was going on. And the reason, while almost everyone holds favorable views of their abilities in various social and intellectual domains, some people mistakenly assess their abilities as being much higher than they actually are. So I'm talking to you, Ross. This illusion of confidence is what it's called, is now called the Dunning-Kruger effect, which describes bias to inflate your self-assessment, right?
Sure. So that disease, just so we're...
Not a disease, but yeah.
Sounds like you just named a disease.
Okay.
right? What would you call it?
What is it?
Are you not calling that a disease?
The Dunning-Kruger effect. So it's kind of like it's
like the butterfly effect, right? Yeah.
It's like exactly. It's like the Mandela effect, right?
Yeah.
You know that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So it's that kind of thing where it's a psychological assessment, not necessarily a disease.
Now, to me, it just sounds like he's mentally disabled.
Right.
And he thought that lemon juice would make himself invisible. So to have a name for this imaginary disease doesn't exist in the world,
right.
I've got a hard time with that. Mm-hmm. But I like his moxie and his hubris. I just want to know what that Google search was like because it was a 95.
But that's what the Dunning-Kruger effect is that you have it's the illusion of confidence. So he just was so confident in his abilities and that if he put lemon juice on him, like he's above
the law. Yeah. Makes sense.
I guess, but
makes sense. How's he doing today? Where's he at today?
I don't know.
Is he still in prison or do you get 25 years for robbing 2 banks? How does that work out?
Yeah, I guess, huh? He
One
must,
would think, right?
From 95, not really sure. They're not really going into his whole thing, but they're more just turning this into the lemon juice. But other times the lemon juice idea, our approaches are imperfect, irrational, inept, and just plain stupid. So, there's smaller examples of it, but that's a really big one.
Okay. I'm a big fan of this.
Of the Dunning-Kruger?
Yeah.
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 I think that sometimes you probably go into situations with more confidence.
I think it's the appropriate confidence that I need for that situation.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Yeah. That's probably true.
Yeah. So, no. I probably don't have that, whatever that is.
So, no.
So
the answer is no. Yeah. You don't have it.
I will say this. I'm pretty honest at like telling people what I am good and good at. Mm-hmm. You know why? Just don't want to waste anybody's time.
Right.
That's it. Dead serious. Yeah. That is a full circle callback moment in the biz is what we call that. And you're welcome for it.
Right.
But it's true. Like if there's something else, it's like, great, good at that, not good at that. Let's move on. How do we keep moving, keep the train moving? But what was his name again?
Which one?
Kruger?
Yeah, Dunning-Kruger effect.
Dunning-Kruger effect. Mm-hmm. Man, I would really look into that and just name it when you think you're invisible.
Right.
That is the Dunning-Kruger effect.
Right.
When you think that lemon juice can make you invisible, congratulations, that's the Dunning-Kruger effect. Otherwise, the rest of it is nonsense.
Sure.
I wonder where he's at today and what he's doing. Yeah. And the fact that he smiled and winked at the camera.
That's what I like about it.
Pretty amazing.
There's that. I think that was a huge part of it. When they did actually talk to him, he wasn't mentally ill. He wasn't crazy. He wasn't on drugs. Mm-hmm. He was just so convinced that this would work, of this one thing. Craziness.
Yeah.
But then imagine meeting that guy and having him seem completely normal.
Right.
Smart in any other, do you know what I mean?
Let's get him on the show.
Okay.
Let's figure out his whole life on this show.
Sure. That sounds great.
See what it is, Because I would like to know the answer.
Right.
My guess is, though, 2 armed robberies of banks, usually that's pretty fucking serious.
Yeah, I think definitely he's still in jail. Yeah.
He'd have to be, but maybe we can get him on the horn.
I mean, that would be great. Someday I do hope to talk to somebody in jail.
We tried to.
Okay.
Tried to very early on. In the first, I want to say 100 episodes of this show. Mm-hmm. We knew a friend of a friend knew somebody who had won the North Carolina lottery.
Okay.
And used the money to bail her
That's right.
boyfriend out of jail.
Jail, yeah.
But then what he was trying to do was become her husband so he could get part of the money and we're going to get married really fast. I mean, it's a huge, crazy fucking story.
Yeah.
And Weirdest shit of all time.
Yeah. How do you get in touch with people? I mean, you write them a letter, I guess, and say, like, call me at this time?
Yeah, so I was going through a family member, and the reason they were interested in coming on the show was they wanted to do a documentary about this guy's life and the couple themselves, of what it's like to win the lottery, and then your significant other has to go to jail. And I was just like, what do you do?
Right.
Like, well, I can tell you what you do with $300 million. Find a new fucking husband.
Yeah.
Definitely don't need that guy at all. But they were apparently the first time he got out, like they were blowing through cash, doing the most ridiculous shit on the planet. And like her family had to set her down for meetings and things. It was like, hey man, you're gonna lose $300 million. Like if you keep doing shit like this, like things got super intense. And then he went back to jail for some sort of fraud.
Oh, okay.
And they had $300 million. I was like, hey man, you don't really have to do any of the fraud.
You can't keep
just
a good
enjoy
criminal
the
down.
$300 million.
Can't keep a good criminal. You know, when you're good
look,
at something, it's hard to walk away from it.
It reminds me of the Nicki Minaj thing. Because she's now married to a fucking criminal.
Right.
Who did hard time for rape. Like not underage rape was his crime. He just committed a parole violation recently and is asking the judge to ease up on the what do you call it, the ankle monitors and things like that.
Okay.
Because I guess they're about to have a kid.
Right.
And he's worried that if the kid is born after 9 p.m., it's a true story. The kid is born after 9 p.m., he has to be in the house and will not be allowed to go to the hospital. So he sent a petition in to the judge to say, hey, I need to be able to stay out past 9 p.m. in case my baby's born. I want to be at the hospital for it. Now, you're Nicki Minaj.
Sure.
You have a gajillion dollars. You are the biggest rap star
and you're
female-wise
dealing
on the planet.
with this fucking
criminal. A real-life criminal who was in jail for 20 years. For rape. And, you know, apparently they were high school sweethearts or whatever, but you're like, dude, you're Nicki Minaj. Like, anyone, you could marry anyone on this earth. White, black, Asian, whoever you wanted, you could marry. And that's who you chose. You're just like, well, I know what's going to happen with that. Right? Like, that guy's going back to prison at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no way around it.
Yeah.
But you can't fucking shake it from people. That's the world.
No.
So, you know.
Unfortunately.
A lot of dum-dums out there, Javes. A lot of dum-dums. You're not one of them. You're not one of them.
Thank you.
You got out of a ticket today by using your looks and your whiteness. Super proud of you. Go to iTunes. Rate the show a 5-star and give a quick review on iTunes. It really fucking helps scoot us on up the charts. We're working out the kinks here. I think we only got another maybe 4 or 5 shows here, and then the studio should be built in time and all that stuff. And very exciting.
Exciting stuff happening here.
Very exciting. You've never looked better though on this, so maybe this is it.
Oh, thanks.
We could save ourselves a lot of money by just having you do this, you know?
Oh, okay. And then what do you do?
Who knows? I might just wear a fucking
hang out.
I might just wear a Pennywise mask and start smoking Winston's, you know?
Oh, okay.
Winston's 120s.
Maybe that could be a fun thing.
Why not? You know?
Stop it.
Why not?
You
James?
stop it. The people love you. They need you.
Yeah. We love you, kids. Thanks. Shout out to the Nooner crew. We were a little late today because James got pulled over by the police.
Yeah.
And, you know.
I had to act real messy in order to.
That's the beauty of the Nooner crew is like,
they get it.
Is it noon? Is it going to be noon 30? Somewhere in there.
Look.
We don't ever know.
No. No, we never will. No, we will. We
never will. Rate the show on iTunes, though, please. Go to iTunes and rate it. We love you guys. For Jessie Wiseman, a.k.a. The Jables, I'm Ross Patterson. This is The Revolution. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.